What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. I think the music's coming through. Let me go ahead and turn that part down. Yeah, okay. I see. I don't got my headphones with me while I'm traveling. Totally forgot them. But sounds like the music is coming through. Hope everybody is doing well. And let me just double check one thing real quick. Okay, so I know that the GLS office hours are starting right now. So I actually want to have that kind of up in the background on my phone for a minute. So I don't know if this has been announced yet. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I won't say anything. No, you know what? I could probably talk about it because it's going to be announced anyway if it hasn't. Let's see. Oh, no, it has been announced. So Splinterlands TV will be coming to an end. So I will be having my last Splinterlands TV stream tonight at 8 p.m., which is roughly 9.5 hours from now. So just an FYI, if you guys want to come, maybe we'll throw a little party or something. I don't know. But let me go ahead and... Oh, yeah. Okay, so this isn't the official announcements. All right, cool. So that's been announced. Any other housekeeping items? Let me check here. No, not at the moment. So let me go ahead and just open up the GLS office hours thing because I kind of just want to follow along and see what they're talking about. There's a lot to consider. So I probably will be just having that on in the background. He always calls at the perfect time. I'm just gonna email Darkest Night. Literally just started streaming. He always calls like right after I start. All right, so I think we're good there. Let me get back to this office hours. All right, so where do we start, guys? Token values have dipped a little bit, but that might not be that might not be because of the news. You can see Bitcoin is kind of just treading water at this point. We're slightly above 26K. So, SPS is kind of sitting around its all-time low. DEC is at about a 30% discount overall. Hive is under 30 cents again. Vouchers are vouchers. So, and then you got GLX over here. I think GLX pumped like crazy yesterday. Somebody had posted something about GLX just going off the wall. Let me see if we can find it here in the context of everything going on. Yeah, I mean, this is the most volume we've seen in a while. $1,000 worth of volume. So I think it had a moment yesterday, if just very briefly. But we can talk about all this today. So I just posted a video on GLX. And do you guys want Darkest Night to jump in? Again, I don't have my headphones with me, but hopefully the audio doesn't mess up. Yeah, let's see if we can get him to come in. All right, so let me go ahead and share this with him, and then I promise you I will jump into the chat because I'm sure you guys will all want to hear what he has to say. Although all right, let me go ahead and let's do it. All right, so let me go ahead and send him the thing, and then while we're waiting for him, I will jump into the chat to say hello to all of you fine folks out there in the stream. So Darkest Night, copy, paste. All right. Okay, so we got Mystic Force here. We got Harry Larry McNary. Okay, you can start. Okay, cool. We're starting now. Glad you're here. Dice 12. I am Gem 005. That's a username I don't think I've come across before. And if I have, sorry for forgetting you, but thanks for being here. Wibble, wee. Let's go. Wibble's feeling a little bit better today. Blockchain Project says, what would bring more value to our ecosystem and uses DAO funding? Weirdbeard being given an unknown DAO role or slimmed down version of SPLTV? Um, I don't. Here, again, the unknown DAO role is something that if there's nothing to define there, again, I love Weirdbeard. I've actually been chatting with him quite a bit, and I totally feel for the guy. There's a whole situation. I'm not going to get into it. That's his business. Main thing is that if we're talking about what a potential role would be and the DAO funding it, keep in mind that we as SPS stakers are now all the kind of like, I mean, we're the business owners, right? So I don't want to just use DAO funds to have Weirdbeard on if he's not going to do anything. And that's not to say that he wasn't doing anything, right? I do think that he ran into a lot of roadblocks and there was a lot of things that were just backlog of projects that he was never able to get his full vision in. So what are we hiring Weirdbeard for? As much as I love the guy, what are we hiring him for? If somebody can tell me that, I'm not gonna vote to have Weirdbeard just come on in an unknown DAO role. If there is a role that we can create, if there's something tangible that the DAO can put together as like, hey, here's something that Weirdbeard can do, and he'll have all the resources that he needs to bring this kind of value to the game. Boom, like yes, you'll have my SPS vote. But until we do that, until he can he'll probably need to pitch some of that himself. This whole like the DAO should hire Weirdbeard again. We have to figure out where Weirdbeard is, how he's feeling about things, and where his vision is for the game versus what Matt's vision is for the game. Because there's probably two different things there, right? Weirdbeard is very much focused on a lot of the new, what's that called? A lot of the new game modes that we were hoping for. Whereas Matt obviously now has to take the reins and focus on delivering all the stuff that we've kind of been promised. But again, this is such a complicated topic, and I just feel like, I'm not trying to give you any hard time blockchain projects, but it's a complicated topic, and until there's a little bit more refinement and direction in what a role for Weirdbeard would be, I just don't think that it's feasible. All right, we will catch up on the rest of the chat, but I do want to bring on. Oh, there he brought himself on.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. Let's see. Should we go with this? Oh, this is a little too close. My face.
Yeah, man. You can see all my beard. I have not shaved today. And like this is, dude. It feels like forever since we've done this.
Hey, is there? Yeah, I know. Is there any echo coming back to you? Because I don't have my headphones today. So.
Nope. Sounds excellent.
All right. So let me just catch up on the chat, and then you and I are going to jump in because we haven't had a chance to talk privately. And I'll be honest. I really do want to chat with you privately about this because there's a lot of stuff, but we'll just have to navigate this publicly.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, so Harry Lear McNair, I love fantasy sports. Just went over to GLS and loved the cards, player stats. Was itching to buy a team, but the gameplay sucks. Teams drop the ball. Yeah, I mean, I love fantasy sports too, but we'll see. Oh, Darren's in the house. What's going on, D Rambo? Sure. Darkest Night is always a treat. See, everybody wants you to come through. Crypto Reaper's here. Rift Summoner's here. Definitely bringing Darkest Night. You guys work well together.
Aww.
Hear that? See? Good chemistry. Time to hold and buy SPS at 1.5 cents. Inco Jim. Don Keep says, bring us hope. All right. Sad day for SPL TV. Man, I guess I'm just gonna have to start streaming every day. If I start streaming every day, will you guys come hang with me? I don't have the giveaways to give out like SPL TV, but we can make it fun.
We can get some giveaways.
We can do some giveaways, right? Yeah, we'll have some fun with it. Okay, so let's see. Do we catch up with everything? Sound is fine. Thanks, guys. Starting to DCA. Tower defense being low priority really makes me sad. Agreed. Mystic Force says hello, Darkest Night. Harris is in the house. Good morning. Just wanted to get some SPL news. Oh, Harris, if you missed the news yesterday, I highly recommend going to watch that live stream.
Oh, he'll get a dose right now.
Mega Mark is here. Okay, so you and I haven't had a chance to chat really at all about this. I remember calling you yesterday before the town hall went live, and you're like, "What announcement?" So, have you had a chance to digest everything that's happened? First and foremost.
Yeah.
Okay. Initial thoughts? How you feeling?
Um, can I just be like totally open and honest?
Yeah, I mean
So
that's what we do here.
before,
When I say like I want to have like a private conversation, it's
right,
because I'm hearing like rumblings. I've talked to a lot of folks with like kind of some insider info, and
yeah,
it's making me feel, certain things I want to get your opinion on. But we're just obviously I'm not going to air all of that out here.
yeah.
But
So
please, we
here's
should be honest.
yeah. On the surface, right, you know that I've been dissatisfied with what's been going on with Splinterlands for a long while, and I've
Mhm.
kind of pulled back a little bit. I've looked at other games. I've gotten back into really my web 2 gaming, right?
I love. Is that a parallel thing in the background? Hell yeah!
So, and we'll talk about that in a second because that's actually
Yeah.
a big thing too.
Mhm. I
Um,
did talk about it yesterday. I talked about the fact that you and I were talking about streaming other games and all these things, and we were talking about this over the weekend before
yeah,
the town hall happened. Because I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, everybody's just gonna come on. They're gonna be like, oh, After Sound's pivoting now." I'm like, "Nah, we actually decided
Nah,
to like
man,
pivot a while ago."
it's been a while that we've been talking about
Yeah.
this, right?
So yesterday was just like, okay, well, maybe we should do this sooner rather than later.
Right.
But I'm
So
sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
yeah, it's all good. So prior to yesterday, I just said, you know what, I'm out. Right, like I'm out, selling all my stuff, and I literally started the unlocking process to sell my collection, everything. I was going to sell it all.
This is over the weekend, right?
This is over the
Or last
weekend.
week?
This is over
Yeah.
the weekend. This is over the weekend because I could see this, and I'm going to use a very strong word, right? Just the level of overall incompetence, right? I
Mhm.
hate saying that word because it means a lot, right?
Wait, hey, we're being honest in this stream, right?
We
So
are, we are. And so I just said,
actually,
man,
this was last week because I was still in Texas.
yeah,
You called me and you're like, I'm gonna sell. And what did I tell you?
yeah,
I said, do it.
yeah. You did say do, right? But then the news came out yesterday, and I've met Matt. I've had a conversation with Matt before, and I'll tell you honestly, right? Like you could see the power plays happening. You saw this a year ago, right? I always thought that Matt would be the loser in this conflict. I did. Matt is so unassuming, so humble. I never figured that he would fight, right? But I'm glad that he
You
did.
thought he would leave,
I thought he would leave.
if we're
I've been
being honest.
saying this ever since, again, privately, we talked about this. I
Yeah.
said, Matt's going to leave because there's too much conflict here. And so, but I never would have imagined that he would have turned out to be the victor. And that is a good thing for Splinterlands, right? Like, and so I said, huh, I know I'm unlocking these cards, but I don't really have any expectation of selling them, right? I'm gonna ride this out, right? Because I believe that Matt will focus on the things that are important to the game, and he'll be able to have the flexibility that he needs. One of the things he said back at Splinterfest was, "I'm preparing this company for the next bull run."
Mhm.
Right? And we haven't really seen a whole lot of those things, right? We've seen very reactionary things, like very reactive to what's going on, reactive to proposals and what the player base think they want, right? And so they throw out a proposal and do whatever. But some of these things are very they have a negative impact to the game, right? And again, this is the first time a lot of game companies have dealt with governance, right?
Yeah.
True governance.
True.
And for better or worse, sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad. So with that, I feel that, and again, this is not a personal. I'm not personally attacking anybody, right? But I feel that the drags on the company are no longer there to continue to drag, right? So Matt doesn't have any obstruction in terms of the vision that he has for the company and for the game, right? This has always been his passion project. And that's what we need right now is someone with passion that has a very clear vision and is not just reacting to things that aren't relevant, right?
Yeah.
Um, from a marketing perspective, again, I'm not calling any specific person out, right? But what are you marketing to right now, right? Like this is an incomplete game. We're still early in this thing, and we have assets, right? So me personally, I'd rather not sell them for cheap, right? To me, they have emotional value and usage, right? I use them to be competitive. I don't want to sell, my kitty. I don't want to sell our mage artists. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that in the future, a year from now, right? This is not like a next week fix, right? A year from now, we'll look back on this week as when everything changed, right? That's my hope. And again, it's going to be a bumpy ride, right? But I mean, I think we're all used to that. And we're going into it with our eyes open. So, did I answer your
Yeah.
question?
Yeah. I mean, it's open ended. So,
Yeah.
it's,
So I'm happy, right? So I'm happy with the change, like very happy, right? And it
good.
has
Okay.
renewed my confidence in what the future holds, not the present, right? The present,
Mhm.
the same problems are still the same problems, right? But now that we can change course, 6 months, 8 months, next year, I'm optimistic.
Yeah. So something that I said something on stream yesterday that I want to get your opinion on, and
Sure.
I was on the phone with Dave McCoy this
Okay.
morning. We just connected and we're like, let's chat. So we were talking for like an hour, and I brought this to him and he kind of agreed. But since I wasn't around, I want to get your opinion. What it feels like we may be going into, like this new era of Splinterlands. Again, I wasn't around, but it reminds me of what 2020 could have been when there wasn't all the hoopla, there wasn't all bull run, but it was just the team with their heads down, delivering things every so often.
Right. It does, right? So I joined December of 2020,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm trying to get. Is what was it like during that time period?
Man, so for me, when I first bought my first, pack set of cards and made my first deck, and I was only what, bronze, silver player at the time. I loved it. Right? I was like, holy crap, I'm playing a card game, cards look cool, and I'm getting DC. That
Mhm.
was it. DEC
Yeah,
was the prize, right? And I literally said, "Holy crap! I just won this game, and I got like half
you
a
got
penny, half a penny. Woo! Like I was like, this is great. I'm filling my bags. That's all I kept saying. I'm filling my bags, filling my
yeah,
bags. And when and I don't know if you remember it because I said this when I think one of our first conversations. I said, man, this whole financial system is going to collapse. I want to be able to play enough in this game for a cup of coffee and a bowl of soup. If I'm going to be in a soup line, I'm going to be like, playing a
yeah,
game and making some crypto, right? I want to be like that guy. And I remember when everything skyrocketed in 2021, and one of my guildmates said, like, holy crap, dude, have you looked at the value of your collection? I was like, I didn't even know how to do that. Right. So I went to Peak Monsters and I was like, holy crap, like this is crazy. And they said, cup of coffee and and some soup, dude, you're gonna be eating filet mignon at this thing. And I remember that because at that point, at that very moment, the expectations of what I was supposed to earn in a play and earn game became unrealistic. It was an unrealistic expectation, and that unrealistic
yeah,
expectation never went away. Right, so I would have been better off by just playing the game, doing what I was doing, taking some of the tokens out, converting it over to Bitcoin or ETH, like I was originally doing, right?
yeah,
But I think 2021, even though it was an anomaly and a lot of things caused that to happen, the reality was it set a lot of incorrect expectations. And because of those incorrect expectations, people over purchased and assets for a lot higher than they should have. Because they saw the same thing that I thought. Like I can make, a lot of money doing this. And for a while we did. Right. And that's
yeah,
that's the other part, right? You can have an incorrect expectation, but if it's still validated, right, you don't hear reason when, or you don't see reason, right? You don't sell when you should, right? You hold on to assets longer than you should. And I think that was a lot of the problem. I think right now the reality is we're having a correction, right? The asset prices are going to where they should be after this long, period. And it's unfortunate that people have bought for such so high.
yeah. I mean, I still think we could have done better this bear market
Of
in
course,
so many ways, right? Like,
you could, but nobody's doing well, right? There are projects that are doing well right now.
yeah. Well, I guess again, this is not me trying to hold them to a higher standard, but it's just like, well, if everybody's not doing well, that also shows that you're not special. And I think I think we all wanted, like, if you believe here, let's be honest about this, right? Why are we all spending more time in Splinterlands than anywhere else? Because we believe it's going to be successful, right? But
Absolutely.
what I'm trying to say is that if its status quo is the same as everything else, it hasn't proved that it can be different from anything else, right? Like, everything's down 99%. So
Yep.
again, like, I get it. It's set up in an interesting way compared to other games and other projects, but at the end of the day, they haven't differentiated themselves at this point. So if they can't differentiate themselves in a bear market, just honestly speaking, what makes you think that they're going to differentiate themselves in a bull market?
So I will give you an example then.
Go for
So,
it.
so my example is the project that will not be spoken of. Which project is that?
Illuvium.
Alluvium, right? Super hype. We haven't heard crap, right? They've been in beta for over a year, right?
Yeah.
And I look at, like, based on what I've seen, let's compare Alluvium and Splinterlands. It's like night and day,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have no idea what's going on, and I invested in Alluvium, right?
Have you seen the beta? Have you seen the video gameplay though?
Dude, I haven't seen anything. I mean, again,
That's
you
on you, but that's on you though, because the gameplay looks phenomenal.
okay? So where's my beta? Like, I can
Fair enough.
make a video that makes great looking gameplay, man. But
Mhm.
until I play it, it's still vaporware,
Sure, fair
right?
enough. Okay.
And that's my thing, right? Like, I invested in Illuvium 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, get in on the beta. Like, what more do I have to do to get my key to be in the Illuvium beta?
Yeah.
Man,
Fair enough.
they've never once reached out, right? So that's my thing, right? So, like, with Parallel, dude, we were playing in 10 minutes.
Well,
That's
and I think I let people know yesterday. Like, you kind of went in and bought some cards, so
I
I'm
did.
excited to do the
I'm
same.
very happy. So I'm a gold player now, right? And even though we're in beta, I love the fact it tells you how much you would have won. And here's a weird thing. So I've doubled my potential earnings in just a day, right? So before it was 0.001 prime. Now I'm up to 0.002 prime per game per match. Right. And it's a brawl, dude. It's a brawl fest in there, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And so the game, like, I'm learning strategies, I'm learning cards. Even when I lose, I'm enjoying it. And I wish there was a little chat option in there where I could just chat with the person I'm playing with. Because, I mean, I'm sure I would love to be throwing F bombs and
You'd be talking trash.
and talking all of it, man. It's awesome.
And here's kind of the important thing, right? Like, without the expectations, unrealistic expectations that play to earn is going to retire you in a sense, and
No,
earn you a living. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that, for 6 months in the back half of 2021, everybody thought that. They saw it with
yeah,
Axie, and they're like, every game's going to do this. So
yep,
without that expectation, my point with this is, like, you're playing Parallel, you're having fun,
man, yeah,
and you're earning a little bit of crypto here and there, or you have the potential to earn a little bit of crypto here and there. Sounds a lot like 2020 Splinterlands to me.
it does. Yeah,
So
so again, I don't really. I mean, I'm amused by the little reward screen, right? I'm like, yeah, whatever. But what I'm thinking more about is the aftermath, which is one of the abilities in Parallel, by the way. The aftermath of the battle I just fought, and I'm thinking to myself, how could I have done better? Because you really have to have a strategy, right? You don't really have to have a strategy in Splinterlands, right? But you have to have an overall strategy, very similar to Magic the Gathering, right? Are you going to be an early burn deck? Are you going to be, mid-range tempo? Are you going to be control? All of those core things exist within Parallel, right? Those
yeah.
those concepts exist. I've been playing Magic, since beta of Magic, right? So all of those skill sets, they're still there, right? I just haven't used them in the last 3 years because I've been playing an auto battler.
Yeah,
Right?
true.
So what I find, right, again, Splinterlands is going to go through a retooling, a reorganization, and all that. For me, I want to let my bot go. I'm going to let it do its thing, and I'm just going to let it cook, right? I'm going to spend less time focused on it. I might still come and hang out with you. We can talk about it, right? But there's not a whole lot to talk about. We talked land to death.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the reorg to death probably for the next month or so, and then that's going to fade out. But then Matt is going to start getting into work, right? We're going to get 1.5 out. 1.6, 1.7, like you said, right? And we're going to start having that progression. But what we're not going to get is the three-ring circus, right? That has been Splinterlands for the last year, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. All right, hold on. Let's jump back into the chat
Yeah.
here because there's a lot of questions coming in. I think it'd be good to answer.
Yeah.
Rift Summoner saying insider info. I mean, I'm just having conversations with people who are on the team. That's all. Darren feels the same. So Larry McNair says, okay, we all got a kick in the stomach yesterday, but what will be the positives from this in your opinion? Can you lay out what actions you want to see occur to make
Yeah.
you feel more positive? Not talk, but actions.
I think we just talked about that a little, right?
Yeah, we did.
And I do view this as a positive. It felt like a kick in the stomach
Yeah.
if you had pinned your hopes and dreams on Aggie, like all the people that are gone, right? And I love Weirdbeard, right? Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic dude, right? But how relevant were his initiatives given that we were focused on land and focused on getting Rebellion out, right? Those are two initiatives that we have right now that are going to be razor focus for Matt, right?
Mm-hmm.
The things Battle Pass was not in that, right? That wasn't a priority for them, right? Not going to be a priority for them. Arena matches, even tournaments, not a priority, right? And so those were things that Weirdbeard was focused on. And again, not to say that they were bad things. They weren't bad. They were great things, but it's before their time, right? I think those are the things that you introduce when you're going through the bull run, right? I mean, it doesn't mean you don't work on them, right? But it's not a priority like getting land out is. We have other initiatives that should have priorities, right? Tower defense. We haven't even heard anything about tower defense, right? And I'll be honest with you, that's one of the surprises that I would have thought Aggie would have taken tower defense with him.
What, right? To GLG?
Well, the same company, right? Like they should have just put that over there as one of the other games in the ecosystem, right?
That would have been interesting if they had launched Arcade Colony with tower defense.
Yeah, that would be like awesome, right? Because Matt's not going to have time to really focus on tower defense. And again, given the kind of roadmap that we've identified as a priority, he's not going to be able to start that until second quarter of next year.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe, right? So again, I love tower defense. Even playing the beta, absolutely loved it. And I think that could have, lit things up. But again, for whatever reason, they haven't been able to give us an update. So just get it off the table, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a huge fan of Weirdbeard too. Obviously, I didn't. What's funny is like there's certain things that Weirdbeard did that I wouldn't necessarily agree with, but they actually had nothing to do with what his initiatives for the game and all that work, right? Like, I know people love to hate on Weirdbeard, but I on this channel I tolerate zero. I have a zero toleration policy for Weirdbeard slander, just because I got to see him working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Doing a job that he didn't want to do, but nobody else was willing to do. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I thought that he did fantastic at it for what it's worth. And it is what it is. So we're here.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, so I watched Weirdbeard work at Splinterfest, right? And he made me, my son, feel welcome, like personally welcome. I will never forget that. Right. And, his legacy is still there. A lot of the things that he worked on, there's a legacy there. Right. So, gone, but not forgotten, I think will be kind of what I will think about Weirdbeard.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I don't think there'll ever be another Splinterfest. I mean, sorry, I know I'm saying that in kind of like a very negative way, huh?
No,
but there's Splinterfest was something that I think Aggie wanted, and Weirdbeard helped to make happen. I don't necessarily see that in the purview of like what Matt's trying to build, especially with like the scope coming down quite a bit.
Yep. So here's what I'm going to say to you. I disagree in its past format where it's driven by the company. I think it'll be community driven going forward.
After Dark Fest Atlanta.
It's happening.
Hold on. Okay, so just to answer Harry's question here with
Yeah.
something a little bit more direct. And this is, I mentioned this to Dave McCoy earlier today because we were kind of getting into a lot of like some of the behind the scenes stuff that we were too, which I'm not going to air here, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think what's going to be interesting to watch is the fact that, just objectively speaking, and I'm not trying to put beef where there's no beef, because it's not between me and them or between them. Like, Matt was on the town hall yesterday talking about how he disagreed with certain of the things that Aggie was running, right?
Obviously.
So that's not hidden information. There's nothing else to read between the lines there. I just think if you're looking for something to feel positive about Harry and all the people here in the chat, everybody's got an ego. And I know Matt's got an ego too, in the sense that it's now squarely on his shoulders to come in and back up the words that he said yesterday to make the company, the game, the assets all be successful. So whether you agree or disagree with how Aggie ran things, whatever the case is, Matt is coming in with a pure incentive to drive asset values up, because that's always been Matt's goal, right? He sees that as the way to like bring new players into the space. So as somebody who holds cards, who holds SPS, in a way, I look forward to that. Like, if Matt's goal is to get SPS back to $1, like, I might disagree with how things played out and whatever, but if he gets it back to $1, so much will be forgiven. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Now here's the flip side of this too. And again, I'm not trying to insinuate anything or whatever. It's just Aggie's moving over to the GLS side, and I know a lot of people are hating on GLS, and it hasn't really delivered. But I think Aggie has an incentive now too to show that it wasn't a fluke. So in a way, I'm actually almost bullish on GLS, and I've just been continuing to stake my tokens there. And you may or may not believe in Aggie and what he's trying to do over on the GLS side, but again, if you're just talking about pure ego-driven incentive, I think both of them have almost this like it's just a need or urge to show that they'll be successful. Which if you're already invested in the project, which I am for both, prove it. Let's see it. I'm looking forward to that. We'll see what happens.
So you said yours, or you're optimistic about that. So this in Steve and Baby Omega's stream last night, that question was asked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my response to it was, I'm staying as far away from that as possible.
Well, you haven't really been a fan of where Aggie has been taking things.
I like Aggie as a person, right? We met him. We had a lot of the things that we say are from that, right? But there's the liking someone, and then there's the execution, right? And so for me, I think the biggest thing that really caused heartache for me, or heartburn for me, was not accurately representing the runway that we really had, right? And I think we can all see it, right? He positioned the company as having a much longer runway. Matt is very conservative, right? And having that conservative view will make you make decisions that will promote a healthy economy and a realistic view of the actions that you need to take now. Right? You can't say, oh, we have plenty of time and we're not really worried about it. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, you're like, holy shit, like how to, we have to slow this bleeding, right?
Yeah.
And again, taking the actions they took yesterday and the people that they got rid of yesterday, you have to look at the situation and say, how valuable was this person's contribution? Again, in the current environment.
Fair, yeah.
Right? Now, if they were doing a great job or had value, you can always say, hey, we're just going to furlough you and we'll bring you back later. Right? But, again, I just feel like a lot of what was said in those town halls was, I don't know if it was maliciously disingenuous, and I don't know, right? But the reality is we ended up in the same place, right? Whether it was malicious or not, it's irrelevant. We ended up in the same place.
Fair, yeah. Look, I get it. People, there's just a lot of baggage there. I just personally, for me, and that's why I'm putting this out kind of on there, not as a prediction, but it's just I do feel. Yeah. Here's how I would define it, right? And I don't think if you put Matt and Aggie in a reaction video to this statement, I don't think that they would disagree.
Yeah.
Aggie has the big vision. Matt is much more like executing on a specific type of vision of what he wants to do with Splinterlands.
Yeah.
So now he gets to do that unobstructed.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
And more importantly, I'm excited for GLS because Aggie gets to create the big vision unobstructed by a co-founder. Because he can now go as big as he wants and getting the people that also believe in that vision, and there's not going to be this tug of war.
Yep.
So that's why I remain bullish on it, because it's like the other part of that is GLS has clean tokenomics, right? It doesn't have 4.6 billion TEC just kind of sitting out there.
When I see the word brawl, I always smile. Sorry.
No, you're fine. All right, so let's okay. So hopefully we answered that for you, Harry. But let's try to rip through some of the comments here. Don Keep says, "Can't imagine myself playing Splinterlands. Do something." Yeah. Yep. So I always believe the marketing is not doing their job. Now that they're gone, I feel sad but justified at the same time. I mean, when there's nothing to market, it sucks. But yeah. Had a good back and forth with Matt at Splinterfest. I definitely trust his lead. Yes. Might as well ride it out. So Darren says, once land is launched and shipped, if the focus is solely on improving gameplay, how does that make you feel? I'll give you a one sentence answer, and then I'll answer so we can get through this.
One word answer. I feel good.
You feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah, the focus is on improving gameplay. I'm good with that as well.
Yep.
But I don't think we get new game modes. So
yeah, and again, that was a weird thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, but just improving what we have, I think that'll be more than enough.
All right. So what's up, Supreme Victory Network? Harry says, and After Sounds Immortal. Yesterday I made some like gaff about like, yeah, guys, you can hit the like button if you're not doing anything with your hands or something like that. It was super awkward.
Yeah, I see that.
So I won't live that down from Harry. But yeah, if you guys like the video, would appreciate you giving a like. If you don't, then don't. If your hands are busy and tied up, then don't worry about it.
Dude, don't double down on that. There are times to double down.
Take your hands out of your. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm also optimistic for the future, says Meta Marcus. Maybe this core team can make use of and collaborate with a great community. They're experts, artists, content creators who can bring their expertise for free. Hey, man, I'm here.
Let me ask you a question about that. So
go for it.
So I feel optimistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk real quick about Rebellion. Are you going to buy Rebellion packs now?
No.
I am.
Wow, you did a real 180.
I know.
You did a real 180.
But they did a 180 also.
Mm-hmm. Right? No, here's the thing. Nothing has changed for me. I like as I've continued to say over the past like year, Splinterlands is a game for me. It's not an investment. So will I buy packs? I'm not planning to buy packs because it's like, oh, I'm gonna like invest further in the game. If there are certain select cards that I want as a player, I might go and buy those. But I'm not going to buy packs just to... you know what? That's a lie. I said yesterday I was planning to buy some packs. Am I going to go crazy on packs?
No.
Like I did for Chaos Legion? Absolutely not. Do I want to see the animation on my screen and open some packs? Yeah, sure. I'll probably buy a couple.
Exactly. And that's where I'm at, right? When I open those packs for Parallel, I felt good, right? I mean, again, so I only bought for Chaos Legion 350 packs. Well, I say only, but that was enough for me. I didn't buy thousands of packs of Chaos Legion, right? And as a player and as a game player, that's kind of what you would expect, right? The joy of opening up a new set.
I'll be there. I'll be bringing the hype. Don't get me wrong. So here's the thing. I'm still excited, but nothing from yesterday to today or Sunday to today has fundamentally changed. Like I'm not planning to now spend more money in the game than I was before. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be the same kind of conservative approach that I have.
Absolutely, and that's my prior to yesterday. I was out. I'm not buying anything.
Yeah, you were out.
I was out, and now again, I have faith. I have faith in it, right? Like let's use your word, unobstructed execution on a vision. That's what I've been waiting for. Right, the fight. We all saw the impacts of the fights, right, and it was unnecessary.
Yep, fair enough. Yep. All right, so Mega Marcus says, "Look at the great graphics at art contests." Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of talent out there, so hopefully they can make use of it. Harry says he hates Illuvium as well. Hold everything. Lucky I didn't get into Crypto Zoo. At least we had a game to play.
What about Chibi Dinos? Whatever happened to that?
That's on the GLS side, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what happened. I think the sales guy might be gone too. The VP of sales. Yeah.
Anyway,
So anyway, all right. So New Age says things will get worse short term as the deep FUD cycle starts with rumors and players. What's up, New Age? Done that. Still positive. I actually, you know what? I don't think it's going to get much worse from here. I think if it was going to get worse, you're already having players sell out. But I think at this point, there's a lot of long term holders or people who just believe that there's nothing else to lose. Right? It's just like how much worse can it get? So we'll see. Why can't I go to the next thing? Can you hear me or no?
yeah, I can hear you. Huh?
All right. So my screen is stuck.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. So Harrison, can you show parallel gameplay? Is it the same as SPL? No, it's similar to Gods Unchained. And as I was saying yesterday, I've done a couple of streams for parallel, and I'm probably gonna start making content for it too, just because we really like the game. We play it a lot off stream, and now I'm just starting to learn more about like the tokenomics and what their plans are. So.
And this time I will be all over token.
Yeah. New Age says, as long as Atlanta After Dark Fest is on, it is on. We will be there, and we'll just be hanging out. So, Luke, what's going on? Brandon's here too. Brandon, I would love to chat with you, Brandon, privately, just because I'm curious to see how you're feeling about everything. Interesting perspective, Darkest Night. Thank you. I hadn't considered Yabra leaving. Wonder if that was the ultimatum in front of the board, which made this move the only play the board could make. Interesting.
So again, I've been saying the potential for Matt leaving was very high since the moment I met him at Splinterfest.
Yeah, we came back from Splinterfest last year, and then you mentioned it, and I was like, nah. And then they did the layoffs, and you're like, I was like, oh, maybe. So Vilson, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. So I think it speaks to the syncs they have integrated into Tower Defense. Flaviano. So Ears Open. What's up, Flaviano? Good to see you. Ears Open. This is the event that changed everything. I agree. Seems for the first time in 2 years, team and community are converging on reality.
Yep.
Yeah. Alex says, what do we do now? Sit tight, I guess, or sell. So sorry I have to work meetings, Steve. Well, we would love to have you on, Steve. Curious to get your opinion too. I haven't had a chance to listen to your chat with BB Omega last night, so that'll be on my list after I'm done here. Ruben's only flaw was that he wasn't a dev. Yeah. If he could go do all the things that he was like, all the ideas that he had,
he'd have his own company if that were the case.
Yeah. True. So Chuni, more transparency about the financial condition is needed, and Yaba will be.
I agree.
Yaba will be more transparent. Yaba is willing to raise more money at the expense of diluting current owners. These are big wins, in my opinion. Yeah. So I actually like the fact that Matt will be probably much more conservative with this now. Again, like
the problem is he has to do a recovery job, right? They could have done this 6 months ago, right?
Yeah. Let's move on because I don't want to talk about this publicly. So,
Yeah.
All right, so Splinterfest Manila will happen in our hearts.
Totally want to be there. Oh my god!
Actually,
and I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be just in our hearts. We're coming.
Well, at this point, it's not a Splinterfest. It's an After Dark Fest in Manila, right? Absolutely. We're going. All right, so Aston Gaming. The gameplay is fun again in modern. Very cool. Too many cooks spoil the broth. All right, so Odic Creations, what's going on? So Chuni, because of Aggie's definition of runway and how he answered the questions in the town hall about that topic, it appears that SPL is in a worse financial condition than I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, he definitely wasn't treating the runway term as conservatively as Matt is. So,
it's interesting because there was a couple of recommendations that I made 6 months to a year ago. You remember one of them was get rid of the town halls?
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing now.
I've been saying that for a long time. Get rid of the town halls because they're not of value, right? And in fact, they were more of a risk. They were more of a risk, right? Because you're prone to say things that set expectations, and then
yeah, and the company was not at a level where it could execute to be giving things out regularly, right? Absolutely. So it's just like it became a lot of fluff, and then that fluff turned into like frustration.
Yes, right. And again, people that are in the business, right, see it for what it is, and it does the exact opposite of what you hope it will be, right? You hope that it'll, you'll update the community and they'll rally around you, but no, people that do crypto, people that do, these types of activities are not stupid, right?
Yeah.
They're very intelligent. Maybe our judgment might be a little suspect, but the reality is, I've not met anyone that didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah. I kind of want to just go back to a point from, I think, Mega Marcus about, like, working with the community. One thing that, and again, because I'm a content creator, I'm not trying to like make this about me, but I don't know who's going to interface with the community anymore.
Maybe
Bulldog was doing it. Weirbeard did a great job with it. Clayboyne, who was also let go, was doing it as well. Like he ran the Splinterlands, I think, Twitter, and would share some of my videos from time to time. So it's just like, who's that person now? That, like, when you and I talk about ideas here, when Tales from the Cryptmancer or Bulldog puts up a good video or idea, like who's going to be listening to that and trying to take it back to the team? Like Nate was on the town hall and he was like, oh yeah, we read through like Mav chat and all these things, but I don't know.
I think,
like,
to be honest, when I play Matt in the game, I know that Matt is present, right? Matt is a quiet kind of guy, right? He's not very verbose. He's a humble, right? I think he watches these videos, right?
No way.
No, dude.
There's no
I think when I picture Matt, I picture all of these streams, just playing in the background. Doesn't mean he's focused on it like the way we are right now, but it's in the background, right?
No, there's no chance.
What do you mean? Why would you say that?
There's just no chance that I think Matt's ever watched any of these videos or anything from the community, unless it was specifically sent to him to say, like, you should watch this. I think
he's always ask him.
Sure, Matt, if you're watching this, blink twice on the next town hall, please.
Dude, just put something in the comments, man.
No,
hey, I heard you. That's all you got.
This is not anything against Matt. Me, when I like you said, I think he's a quiet guy, keeps his head down, and builds stuff. I don't think he's interfacing with the community, right? Because he's always had other people to kind of do that for him, at least over the last 2 years. So that's my question, right? If Matt's not doing that because he's busy building and designing and all this stuff, who is going to be doing that?
Us.
But I don't talk with the team regularly.
Yeah, but what kinds?
I may not even talk to them again. We'll see.
Right, but what kind of things do you really need?
Well, okay, so therefore, then we come back to the argument of centralization, decentralization. How much of a community project is this if the team isn't really listening to the community? You can make the argument that, hey, Yaba should be the dictator and we should just live in his world and he should make the game. The DAO has too many ideas, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But that also takes away from the appeal of a player and community-owned game, doesn't it?
So maybe, right? So I've seen posts from Matt before, right? When Matt shares, right? I think through Peak D and on Hive, he does articles, right? Mm-hmm. He keeps notes and thoughts, right? And sometimes he posts them, right? But Matt is the kind of guy that I think, rather than just, saying a bunch of random stuff, that was Aggie's deal, right? If he has something important, he'll release it. And maybe it might not be as frequent as it needs to be, as we would like, but the reality is it'll be impactful. We had not seen Matt on a town hall in months, right? But the one time he shows up, everything changed, right? I would rather have that than lots of speculation on what we're going to do.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. You know what? All right. That's fine. Let's move on from this because I feel like we're starting to speculate on their character now. And again, I have the utmost respect for Matt. I don't want people and Aggie. Like, I don't want people to think anything's changed. I'm just saying, from what we've seen and what we know, Bulldog being gone, Weirbeard being gone, Clayboyne being gone, even Chatter being gone. Who's the guy that's like paying attention to what's happening out in the community? I don't know who that is. Nate said that he goes through Mav chat and goes through Discord, and I know that he does, right? I mean, I love the fact that Nate is super active in there. Farpatrot is super active in like the LAN chat and on Discord, but I'm specifically responding to the fact that we used to have people that would come through. Weirbeard would come through on some of these live streams, right? Or to Walking Keys' live stream. So we don't have that anymore. At least I don't know if we do.
Yeah,
which is fine. It makes me a little bit more free.
My counter is I don't know that we need it. Right.
Fair enough. Okay.
I would much rather focus on the game itself than all the activities in the background. And that's what we've been doing for the last last couple of months, right? We're
Sure.
more focused on the background stuff. What I would love to do, I mean, even though we have access to land MAV server that's not ready yet, right? I would
Hmm.
still love to focus on some of that content and some of those things, right?
Yeah.
Again, acknowledging that it's not even really beta, right? It's just sample code. I would still love to try to find, best tips and practices and tips for navigating through that, right? That's, to me, that's valuable.
Yeah. Well, to counter my own point, right? Like, if we're here as a community coming up with ideas, then really the only way to interface with the team this from moving forward would be to submit proposals,
Yeah.
right? If we think that there's like a great idea, it's not going to get into the internal meetings until
Yeah.
we submit a proposal for it.
Yeah. To me, you guys are the community, right? The team, to me, is not really part of this group, right? Like these are, and actually, I've noticed a lot of new names in this chat, in
Yeah.
the stream, right? So, I mean, people still have an interest, right? And we kind of support each other, right? So, I'm good, and it's always been that way as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
Right? I stopped going to town halls 6 months ago.
Yeah, true.
I just didn't find any value in it.
A lot of people, I think, agree. They even started playing bingo during the town halls.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's catch up on the chat here. So Flaviano saying Aggie was too much blindly bullish, in my opinion. I will remember that post saying Chaos Legion would sell out in November. I mean, we were all delusional, I think, to a certain extent, probably believing a little too much. That November, here's the thing. The cuts last November, I think, made us a little bit more hopeful that the team was like streamlining, getting stuff done. I wonder if we're just setting ourselves up for failure again. Where it's just like, lean, mean fighting machine. And I don't mean to I don't mean to like downplay any of the rhetoric from the team, but it's like, yeah, lean, mean fighting machine means you have less resources, right? So I think as a community, it's really on us to probably bring our expectations down.
Yep.
So, and not disrespectfully, but just realistically. It's not like, the team can't accomplish this. No, it's just like literally the team has 24 hours in a day, right? And they already have so much on their plates. Like, we as a community should probably not have these high expectations. And then it would fall on the community, on the team, to not set unrealistic expectations. I think that's where you can look at where the disconnect was earlier this year.
So if you want my opinion on what happened last year.
I don't want. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I think
I always want your opinion.
When they did the cuts last year, that they cut the wrong people. That's what I think, if I remember correctly, they got rid of 5 developers. Imagine, was it 5, right? Was it 5?
I don't think it was that many, but I thought they kept most of
the number was 5. I feel like the number was 5.
Sure. Okay.
Imagine if we'd had 5 extra developers during this last year.
Well, it's so easy to Monday morning quarterback. So.
Well, but we've been saying, I think it was Saturday, Sunday evening quarterbacking, right?
Yeah, true.
Now we're at Monday morning. But anyway, I mean, my thing is, again, hindsight is always 2020, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think the right things have happened now. So I would say, for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like this whole last year didn't even happen, right? And now we're getting the first notification of the first layoffs, right? Because now the proper people, I take that back. I'm going to skip some time away from that. Now is the real reset. Last year was a kind of a fake reset.
Fair enough. All right. All right. So let's see. Darkest Night makes me want to listen to the entire town hall yesterday. Looks like a brawl happened.
Not really. I didn't listen to it.
No. I mean, I think so. If you have any kind of like emotional, financial investment in the game, I really think if there was a town hall to listen to, it was the one yesterday. Yeah. Right. So I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay. Just hit the like button. This is weird. I don't normally ask people to hit the like button, so don't do anything. Just keep your hands wherever they are, wherever I can see them. All right, so I'm going to buy Rebellion packs. All right, very cool. So, Mega Marcus wants to buy 1,000 Rebellion packs. All right, so most likely the marketplace
do some group buys.
I might go for that versus Rebellion pack. I think a survey of willingness to buy Rebellion should send to the community. Oh, they might. Actually, that'd be an interesting survey to do. How many packs are you planning to buy? All right, so I just hope they don't put Rebellion packs in chests. I think they 100% will. That's just how they've always done it.
Yeah.
So see, I don't even need to buy it. I just need to play. So I'm selling my level 3 C-Rec. Don't see it being meta rare copies. Yes, but not meta. Have you played with C-Rec at all?
No, I haven't. I only have a level 2 one. I'm waiting for the price to drop it before I get one.
Same. 16-bit. Yeah, Darren. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's been confirmed. But all right, those who believe in Matt's vision for Splinterlands will stay.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who do. I like Matt taking charge. We're sick of hearing Aggie talk about how BTC Bowl is imminent. You can't run a business on pure hopium.
Agreed.
I think a lot of people agree with that. So, Guten Tag. What's going on International Travel Channel? Yes, 1 month. All right. So, Shuni, do you think the DAO should own equity in Splinterlands? Would you vote yes for that proposal to buy equity in Splinterlands?
Huh.
It's just already
I
so
would be neutral to that. I'd be like, whatever.
Huh?
I would be neutral to that.
Yeah.
Like, there's pros and cons to both, right? So, to not doing it, to doing it.
The DAO doesn't have enough money to make a significant investment in Splinterlands, so I guess I'm neutral. I wouldn't. Yeah, I actually no. I think I'd be against it. As it is, the DAO has such a complex and complicated relationship with Splinterlands already. Like there's so many like connections that really shouldn't be there. In so many ways, so it's just like I don't know if we should make it more messy than it currently is. If anything, what we should be trying to do is like the DAO should be its own separate decentralized entity, right? That hires Splinterlands to make Rebellion, which is what we're doing. And I like
what that was supposed to happen.
I like the direction that we're going with that. Now you're talking about the DAO investing in Splinterlands
to be a part.
I don't know.
Yeah.
To be part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel strongly one way or another, but I at this point I'd probably say no. But I'm very open to hearing an argument as to why I would be wrong.
I mean, there are pros and cons, right? Again, the fact is you would be more tied to the success of Splinterlands, right? But again, it increases your risk, right? So
yeah. Should the DAO hire Aftersun and Darkest Night to host her? Dude, if they hired us, we will be on all the time, man.
We'll work for pizza.
You won't work for SPS?
Same thing. I buy a pizza.
I thought you were about to say SPS isn't worth anything.
No, it is worth something.
At least I can eat my pizza. I can't eat my SPS.
No, and so SPS does have value, dude. I know it's low, but it's not.
Okay. I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Kazrak, what's going on? Maybe it's good to have a little less interaction with the community, at least for a while. Less talk, more action is what we need now.
I agree, 100,000%.
See, so that's where we were a year ago when they had like the layoffs in November, and then like December was just quiet, and the community went crazy, just tossing salt around like monkeys with feces. Yeah. And then the team came back in Q1 of last year, and they were very effective, releasing stuff every week. So I hope that we can see something like that again. I don't know how much time, but I'm looking forward to it.
The reaction this time is not like last time, right? The reaction this time, I think, just based on the conversations I've had, have been more slanted towards positive. Okay. And people are saying the same things. They're not saying like different things, right? They're saying the same things about what they had problems with.
Fair enough. All right. Darren says Matt absolutely watches. He has said terms and phrases that content creators use in their videos. And then Kazarek says Matt did contact me via Discord about an article I wrote on Publish 0x. He very much is watching. I don't believe it. Matt, if you watch these videos, I don't know, like cough and then blink twice in the next town hall.
Because here's the thing, right? When I talk with Matt at Splinterfest, he knew who I was.
Oh, he did?
He absolutely knew who I was. And
I don't think he knew who I was. And I was on the team.
Yes, he knew who you were.
I'm really not trying to pay Matt. Like he's just a busy guy. Like, and he's got a lot going on. The company had like 100 employees at the time.
So I think I've told this story before, right? So when we were at Splinterfest, they had the Q&A, right? You could wait in line and have the Q&A, right? Mm-hmm. They cut it off right as it was my turn. And Matt came to find me. He came and found me.
I remember.
He said, "Hey, Darkest Night," and I said, "Hey, Matt." And he said, "Hey, I'm sorry we got your question cut off." He says, "I know it's going to be a good question. Why don't you just tell me your question now?" And we talked about ECR.
Yeah, yeah.
And then look what happened, right? A couple of months later, we had the ECR update,
You got the
right?
ECR
And he
change.
told me, he said, "Hey, man, help is coming. Don't worry."
Hmm.
Right? So, and again, he even knew my play profile. He said, "Yes, players like you specifically got caught up in the ECR. It was not intended to affect you the way that it did. Don't worry, help is coming." He didn't have to say that, right?
Yeah.
He could have just said, "Yeah, suck it up." He didn't say that.
Why does Aggie do videos with his wife now? I think they were probably just trying to build out more of a content library. I wonder if they're going to do that for GLG. So Harris says, I agree. Weekly town hall looks weird. Town hall should be done quarterly or monthly,
I agree.
but weekly is bonkers. Yes, I have a feeling we're going to move to monthly based on what Matt said. But even he's like, I may not come on monthly. We'll see.
Quarterly is more than enough. I think just quarterly is good.
So I mean, I think again, so this is going back to like I think Aggie likes interfacing with the community regularly. He likes having those touch points. So once again, with him not there, with Weirbeard not there, Bulldog, Chatter, all these folks gone, who's pushing for town halls?
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying that we will be in a bad place. I'm just saying like I don't think there's anybody really pushing for town halls. We're gonna have to like remind them like, hey, or they'll just schedule a town hall when there's something to actually announce.
Yeah.
It'll turn into like an Apple event. So are you gonna vote yes or no for the upcoming proposals? I think everybody's saying just to vote no now, right?
For what? What's the proposal?
There's a bunch of proposals in the space right now to like do stuff with the DAO funds. But I think
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna reset that right now because the team is trying to get like 250K. So
yeah, I'm so against the governance model right now. So and again, it's I just salty because some of the votes have gone against me and have negatively impacted me. But if they had been positive, I would love it if they had gone my way.
we should talk about this for a second because you should be even happier about the fact that Weirbeard's gone. I mean, I know you said you like him, but Weirbeard. One thing that I really appreciated about him was the fact that he was pushing against a lot of the anti-competitive behavior that was out there, and he's you know what I mean. But like, so basically, what I'm saying is that like Matt is the decentralization maxi that says we can't fight battle helpers, we can't fight bots. Let's not even bother trying. I think you kind of agree with him on that.
Yeah, so this is a difficult topic, right? Because one, it's quality of life, right? That's the reason why I like battle helpers and bots, right? It's quality of life. I play multiple games, right? And for me to focus on one that is as time consuming as Splinterlands is not practical, right? And if this were just a game, I would agree, but it's not just a game, right? This is an investment for a lot of people, and to have assets just sitting idle because I can't put a bot on it, like I'm losing value. And again, I would tell you, passing these proposals has literally cost me boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not a little bit, a lot. So either my choice is to play more, right, and focus on every single game and play my best for less valuable rewards. Right? As the price of SPS goes down, I don't want to spend my time in a game, right? I want to have a bot handle it. But when SPS goes to $1, man, I'll focus on every game there, every match there is, right? I just can't afford to play now, right? There's other things I could be doing with that time.
Yeah, again, this is going to be a slippery slope, so we probably shouldn't spend too much time on it. I think you're just going to get people who feel differently across the board. I mean, you and I are even on different sides for this, right? Like to me, the dream of Splinterlands being a highly competitive esports game,
right?
I don't mean to be dramatic, but that's dead to me now, right? So
right.
it's the person on the team who was championing that is no longer there, and the decision to go with a more decentralized approach. Again, let me be clear. I'm very excited about the game mechanics that are coming to Rebellion.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't shared any details on that, so like it's just stuff that I've heard. I think that can help with a lot of the issues that we're running into now. So I don't want to say that the dream is dead. That was a little too dramatic. But
Yeah.
the point is that like I don't know what this looks like from a competitive standpoint now, and so therefore it's almost like the whole DeFi platform, DeFi game narrative ends up winning, right? Like we're gonna get, botting available. People just bought their land, and we'll see just how effective from a tokenomic perspective the team can make the game. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. Genuinely, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I just feel like the things that I was hopeful for and championing for are no longer the priority, right? Like, okay, so just to take it back, and I don't mean to harp on this too much, right? But like, I remember talking with Weirdbeard at Splinterfest, and maybe these were delusions of grandeur, but like for him, he was like, man, it'd be great if we could have like small Splinterfest meetups in every continent and do these types of like competitions in person,
Absolutely.
have qualifiers, and then like there's nobody on the team that's pushing for that anymore, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. And not only that, the decentralization approach means that we're bot neutral, battle helper neutral.
But I like that, right? Again,
I know, but here's the thing. I know you like that, but as a game, now I no longer care about the competitive nature of, like, I'm botting my account again. Like, I no longer care about, and this is why Parallel has me at least more interested. Like, again, the game itself of Splinterlands is so good. There's so much potential. That's why I went in, and now I feel as though the game is, it's like that potential is just sitting there, and it's never going to be focused on. Sorry, I know I'm being dramatic, but if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, so I'll tell you this, right? As a gamer, I've been gaming since I was 12 years old, right? Like hardcore gaming since I was 12. We, as by our nature, we don't just play one game.
Sure.
Right? We play different games to get different things from you, right? Different things, right? I played Magic the Gathering, but I got pissed because it kept banning cards, right? So I looked at Splinterlands to be a replacement for that. But it wasn't a replacement for that. It's not the same type of game. And when I realized what it was, right, it's a gamified DeFi platform, right? Which I like. I like that, right? So I bought some assets, I get some crypto, I get to climb up a leaderboard, I get to point at, hey, look what I did, right? And then start it all over again at the end of the season, right? That's all the game to me should have been. I don't need it to be the esports, game, because if I want to play an esports game, I'll play something that's made specifically for that.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need it to be everything, right? I need it to be good at what I want it to be good at, right? Which is owning assets, making some crypto, right? As a reward, as a validation of my decision to pick this game, right? And that's pretty much it. That's all Splinterlands has ever been for me. But I say that other people have different objectives for what the game is. The problem is everybody wants it to be everything. And that's just, I don't think that's possible, right? You want it to be an arena for validating excellence, right? I'm an excellent player. I want it to be an arena that says, hey, I made this investment in this super powerful card, and now I get to kick everybody's butt. Okay? And if you want to kick butt too, go buy that card. Right?
Yeah.
But we're both not 100% right, and we're both not 100% wrong, right? It's a blend of all of these things. That's why you see the same people in the chat, right, talking about the same things, right? I think we have reached that equilibrium of knowing what the game really is, and I think we have to accept what it is, but also acknowledge what we want it to be at some point in the future. And it's hard, right? It's really hard. It's not an easy thing, because for every desire or aspiration that we want, someone has to make that into a reality, right? And right now, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I mean, the scope for what the game could be has gone dramatically down. And here's the thing. I don't want it to be like I'm just sad and throwing a tantrum about it. Like, the game maybe wasn't at that level, like, right? Like, I obviously had high hopes and aspirations for what it could be. I don't think that I was just blindly drinking the Kool-Aid
No, you weren't.
because like you could feel it, right? At Splinterfest, there was this like yes, this game could be like this just awesome thing where if you do it in the right way, you get people to come up, you like the whole team building and competitive aspect of it. There's something to it that has that value. We saw it. It exists. And I guess part of me is just kind of sad at the fact that like that dream in a sense has died, because we're now coming back to reality of like, this is what the game is. And for you, right, you were there before the big boom, so it's just like this is just a game I play to buy a cup of coffee at the end of the week. And it's like, I know, and see, but it's like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I think the disappointment of like, oh, it could have been so much more. It had potential, but now we're just gonna settle for this being the game that I play while I'm waiting for the bus, or I'm waiting for the train, or you know what I mean, while I'm in the bathroom. Like it could have been so much more.
I'll be honest, man. I still get a sense of pride. Like when I get double champion, what do I always do? Send you a text. I send Walking Keys a text. Even though it's not me doing it, I still have a sense of pride. Right. And I got to tell you, with the loss of the bots, man, match liquidity. Wow. And I think we talked about this, right? You cannot unsee this once the bots and battle helpers are gone, right? The reality will hit you. There aren't as many players as you think there are. And
I mean, I think we all kind of had an idea, but yeah,
but now you see it.
Now you see
and
it.
That's a thing that Aggie, if I give him credit for one thing, right? When we had a lot of battle matches and there were a lot of users, from a marketing perspective, that was a great thing, right? A lot of people are playing this game, even though they were bots, right? You still got into matches. You could still win against them. They weren't all powerful. But even so, you could still set up your own bot, right? And that was what's one of the benefits, is you were able to, again, have that work-life balance. You know, you remember how it was last summer, man. I mean, I had bags under my eyes from, playing, so much Splinterlands, right? And I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's what a game should be, right? You should just want to play it so much. But whatever. Okay,
I finished Baldur's Gate, by the way. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on because we're falling behind on chat.
Yeah,
so we get to as much as we can. So Darren says, I like bi-weekly town halls, one a month from Matt and the other from the art and development. That'd be cool. All right. The first change I have seen immediately from Chuny is a lot of the names in the game coming back and commenting in Discord and streams. Engagement has already ticked up with Yabba.
I see the same thing. I see exactly the same thing.
There's a lot of hope right now, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's obviously a good thing. It's just let's hope it goes somewhere. All right, so Darkest Night is right. If you knew Matt was going to be on the town hall, the expectations of getting something monumental went up dramatically. Man, I really thought we were going to get the Land 2.0 white paper.
Well, maybe we will the next time, right?
All right, so now the town hall is once a month. You would bet there would be something on.
Absolutely.
If not, Matt ain't there. Yeah. Virus says, hey, Virus is here. What's going on? Virus, I've been meaning to message you. I'm curious to get your thoughts too. All right, so I'm going to buy Rebellion as well. Matt sees all. Good evening, Carlo. All right, Darkest Night is the reason for the ECR change.
Oh, no doubt. That was totally me.
That was your conversation.
Hey, so think about this. I just thought about this as you were going through the comments. Imagine if SPS started to climb over the next week or two.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that would be an indicator of?
Speculation.
That better, the future is better and more brighter, right? I expected the price of SPS to crash hard. I expected matter of fact, let me check my card collection.
I mean, who's selling besides me, my usual ice cream money? Who's out there selling, right?
Yeah, so my card count has gone down.
So here's the thing: like, if it were to go up a little bit, let's say in the next week or two, or over the next month, if SPS goes up without the release of anything, it's pure speculation and hopium, in my opinion. The team has not added any value back in. It's just people coming in and betting on Matt.
Yes, that's my point. That's exactly my point.
I know, but is that a stable investment?
No, but it's better than it going the other way, right? Where people are holding.
Agreed. Agreed. And I'll be happy to sell at 3 cents and 4 cents when I take my ice cream money.
And
Again, when I talk about selling, guys, I'm not talking about selling my stack. I'm talking about I take a little bit out for my ice cream money
yeah,
every week, right?
your winnings. You take your winnings.
So I'm not opposed to it going up. But if you're asking me what the reason for it going up would be, it'd be pure speculation. People just hyped about the fact that Matt is taking the reins.
And
But
so,
there's no actual value being delivered yet. Now, if it goes up because land comes out, then yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So no, you got it, right? So I think, I'm not going to say overwhelmingly in the community, but I'm going to say significant, people, their comments and their posts show this as a positive event that makes them more hopeful, not less. And that is what we needed. And it starts small, right? But now I think it will build momentum. When Matt delivers land 1.5, we will all point to that and say, that's a success, right? If it's good, right? If it's good, it has to be good, right? And in January 2024, we'll be saying, hey, it's good. I still say January's the time.
So I'll zag the other way on this, and be controversial. Like I think there's a lot of cope in the Splinterlands community right now, and the reason is because everybody's overextended. They got their bags, and guess what? They got nothing else to say. But here's the thing: it's a shitty situation. Like we shouldn't have gotten here.
Right.
And I think most of the people don't realize exactly. They're speculating on why we got here, but the point is that we never should have been here. So I think that there's a lot of cope. And people are covering it up by doubling down and saying like, oh, Yaba's at the wheel now. Things are going to be great. Don't get me wrong. I am cheering for Yaba. I want him to succeed. And I want to do everything that I can as a community member and player for him to succeed.
Yep.
But all I see, sorry, I'm probably being a little harsh. It's just like when people are just being like endlessly optimistic, I'm just like, dude, it's just straight cope. They're just coping or copium with the situation. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to put my silver linings out there too, but I'm not going to sit around here and act like this is a good thing for the game. Like, I would much rather have them turn things around at the end of 2022, and we'd be sitting here with the launch of Land 1.5 and SPS sitting at 30 cents. Yeah,
but it didn't happen, and so you say it's cope, which I agree it is. But if we all cope together around the same day, then it doesn't matter. You end up in the same place, right? Whatever the reason is, you end up in the same place, right?
Yeah.
You have a strong community that is aligned around the objectives of the owner, and we all agree with the direction it's going, right? That's all you need for a solid community, right? And I think the distractions that we've had for a year are just going to fade away, right? Matt's going to say, hey, here's what I'm working on. We all know it's land right now. We know right now, if he's not listening to this stream right now, working on freaking land, that's what we need him doing, right? Everything else is BS.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, honestly, it's a lose-lose situation, right? You either say positive things and everybody says you're coping, or you say negative things and people are like, why are you fudding your bags, right? So, like, at the end of the day, it's a no-win situation. But I can't sit here and everybody's like, man, this is a good thing for the game. It's like,
again,
yeah, it's a good thing, like, from where we're at right now, but we shouldn't have gotten here.
Yeah, but we are here, right? And that's the reality. And
Sure.
I think first thing that everyone needs to do is have a dose of reality, right? What is the reality of our situation, right? One of the things we haven't talked about, right, is your discovery of all that DC that's hanging out there.
Oh, Matt addressed that. He said,
well, what did he say? I missed that. What did he say about that?
That the number is wrong and that they should just take it off the website. Or not that the number's wrong.
But how is it wrong?
He didn't get into it.
We need to get into it, right?
I'd like that.
Yeah, we need to get into it. Matt, hey, Matt, we need to get into it. Because it's stuff like, he's listening, man.
If the number is true, which he didn't deny, right, that there has been 25 billion DEC minted and there's only 4.6 left in circulation, I'm just curious what happened to that other 20 billion.
That's all we need to know, right?
Yeah. And here's the thing. It could be that they printed it or minted it, and then it's sitting as like the reserve on what's that called, on the Binance Smart Chain or on one of the other areas, right? So
Your comments are just on fire.
I know that I'm trying to catch up to them. So
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
okay. All right, so because we're like 16 minutes behind. All right, we're gonna rip through these. All right, I don't understand 250K proposal. If the team need money, why would they give up half pack revenue just for 250K? I think it's more so from a principle standpoint. 250K is not going to go very far, but they're just trying to design what a community-owned game would be like, which I like. So I think the bot ban really hurt the game and ruined the renting. It did destroy the economy. So I think not banning bots really hurt the game. And also, look at this, two comments on the opposite sides.
Absolutely. That's
where real players away.
But
yeah,
but there's room for both opinions, right? Like,
Yeah.
like there's a way to curtail bots so that it doesn't exploit, right?
Yeah.
But you need to make the game, the quality of life is what's the problem for the majority of bots. That's the problem for me. So fix the quality of life, you won't need the bots.
All right, so Brian says it invites speculation about the team don't have money to develop Rebellion, or they don't believe pack sales will be less than.
It's already done. The Rebellion's already done, as far as I've heard.
All right, so the more I listen to Dark express his opinions, the more I feel like he is a good representation of the average median player. Game companies would benefit from listening to these type views. I don't think Darkest Night is average at all.
I'm average, man. I'm so average.
I call him the player's player. I think he's absolutely above average.
I'm just busting job.
Which is why when you get dissatisfied with the game, it concerns me.
Because I don't want to be dissatisfied with the game.
I know. You're looking for every reason not to be dissatisfied. When you come and you're like, yeah, now I'm just, they lost Darkest Night. He probably spends the most amount of money.
Now they got me back.
As a player. Yeah.
Now they got me back, right? So it's a razor's edge, man. Which way?
All right, so if you can't please everyone, but if you try to hit the average player, you'll be right a lot of times. Well, there you go. All right, so Virus says, I think the compromise to leave the bots in Wild was good enough for now. A lot of players are excited. Okay, cool. I don't disagree with that, Virus. I think you're on point. Florian, why should anyone bot land if all you need to do is harvest once per week? And why should one not bot that? I mean, I'm sure, I just know Peak Monster's probably going to set up something, or Splex.
Yeah, I say it's optimization, right? There's different.
Yeah.
So the thing is productivity points and what cards you put on. As your collection builds, right, certain cards might be optimally placed on land that you're not using.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's Virus saying, I'm getting my butt kicked, but the game is the best it has been.
Yes, kicking Virus's butt. Sorry.
I missed that Weird Beard is gone. Why did he go? He was let go, Carlo. All right, he shaved and didn't want to change his gamer tag, JK. He got caught up in the new path of restructure. Oh, you're talking about Weird Beard. Everyone liked him, but it is what it is. All right, I wanted to be where I can just play Splinterlands for a living. Yeah, see, I mean, I want it to be that way too, Rift 7er. I just don't think. Like, imagine if everybody did that as a job. I mean, one way that you could do it is become a streamer. You should stream more.
And you have to move to the Philippines.
And you have to move to the Philippines, yeah. Knight dropping some wisdom. He has a lot of that, and he drops it frequently. All right, so when do you think we'll be able to start selling soulbound cards?
2025.
2024, I think.
Yeah, 2025.
So much hopium, says Aaron Kennedy. I was stoked about Land 1.5 with Matt coming on yesterday, and here we are.
We're still gonna get it, right? We're still gonna get it. So I wouldn't worry about that.
Many max decks for sale right now. So who's selling off? I know there's been a bunch of whales who are leaving. I know I'm buying. I bought 2 more plots this morning at Area 51. Oh, well, Virus. You're gonna be like the land baron there. Archuni, I think the best catalyst to SPS catching a bid is if Yaba gets funds injected into SPL from a credible investor.
Absolutely.
If that happens, game back on. Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Please.
So you can get investment capital from anywhere. What's to stop the community from coming up with that capital, investing ourselves? Doesn't have to be. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You gotta take it.
Potential spam.
Nah, it's not the worst.
It is.
I mean, I don't know if the community would have enough to invest. Here's my question. Here's my question for you though, and I'm not trying to like point any fingers or paint this in any specific way. From the cuts last year in November, the team said it was a priority to go and get funding. They wanted to raise capital starting in Q1 of this year. They weren't able to do it. what changed between yesterday and today that makes you
Nothing.
believe that a company will want to invest
Nothing.
in them now? Now, okay, nothing's fundamentally changed, right? So again, I don't know who's better at what. Just from their positions, I would assume that Aggie is the sales guy. He's used to going out and trying to raise capital. If he wasn't able to do it, I'm curious to know why and why those companies said no. Is Matt going to be better at that when that's not really what his kind of role is? The one argument that I've seen in positive for this is that Matt is probably a little bit more willing to dilute like his shares or stuff like that. So maybe that's what it is. If that ends up being the case, then maybe those deals come back to the table because it's like, well, I'm in charge now and I'm willing to agree to your terms or things like that.
So again, this is just an idea, just quickly, right? I think that Matt can code in VC, capital into the game, right? So let's say, for example, you can buy into the company as a player, right? A player-owned company. One of the requirements is you have to own a note, right? It's one thing, right? You have to participate. And then two is you would actually take some fiat and invest in the company. And I don't know if that's legal from.
I don't think. I mean, you'd have to be. It would only be available to like accredited investors here in the U.S.
Right, but not everybody's here in the U.S. Right? Maybe that's part of it. You move the company out of the U.S. Right? Whatever. I mean, again.
I mean, it's a great idea. I just don't think that's not going to happen in the next 3 months.
Oh no! I don't think it's going to happen for like another year.
Yeah.
Right. So, but again, there are ways of generating capital, operating capital through. I mean, we own game assets, right? And again, you could. I know they have promo cards and stuff like that, but there are things that we want that could generate capital, right? What have I been asking for? That's nothing to do with gameplay, right? It's cosmetics, man. I mean, that's core to like most games right now, and people eat it up like crazy, right? If you want to, start with your community and say, hey, I'm going to give you not pre-sale. This is something you're going to get right freaking now.
Yeah.
Right? We already have animated cards.
Would you invest?
If it was the right stuff, right? So
what do you mean is the right stuff? Like as somebody who has, if you had capital, like how would you, like what would be the terms that you would want that you would say I'm willing to drop, I don't know, a minimum of like 25K.
2,500, yeah. No, but I mean,
no, we're talking about like VCs, right? Like minimum checks are usually 25K.
So $2,500. What I would want is a percentage of the company, which should be expected, right, for VC, and then the other is I would love some sort of in-game asset that would reflect my status. Whether it's a banner on my name, whether it's a certain, something, right? And I would want to make it a community thing, right? That it would be a desirable condition, I guess that's the right word, that you are a part owner of the company.
You know how? Sorry, I'm just gonna.
I see the look on your face. I can see I know what's coming.
You do? You know
so.
how like sorry, we'll put our fake tinfoil hats on now.
Hey, what do you mean fake?
Oh, sorry. You know how like some of the concerns you brought up in the past were potential like favoritism?
Oh yeah.
Like, don't you think the rest of the community would potentially view that as like, oh well, here's like a public player owner? I just feel like that sentiment will become so rampant.
But again, we all know why we would be investing in the game, right? For the future success of the game. And I think that should be applauded. I really do.
Fair. Okay. I mean, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think it could be an interesting idea. That's what the decentralized crypto is. So.
Yeah. And again, we just threw something off the wall, right? But
we're just
with a bit of refinement, they can make it a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about a Kickstarter, right? Like we did it to Kickstarters.
They did do a Kickstarter.
Why don't we do another Kickstarter?
Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, ish.
Yeah, it's kind of good, but kind of bad.
Actually, I wonder if the team would be open to doing another Kickstarter.
Do a Kickstarter.
No, you know what? People are going to be like, we never got boss monsters. So,
Well, but
and,
here's the thing, right? It's not for something that you're going to do in the future. It's something you already have to offer, right? Like that's going to be the king. No more pre.
like what?
I don't know. I mean, they can come up with something. Matt's a smart guy, right? Free Roonies for everybody. I don't know. But at the end of the day, no more pre-sales, right? Like pre-sales
Yeah.
are out.
Yeah, I like
Give
that.
me value now. At the same time, I give you money, you give me something of value. That's the way it needs to be going forward.
All right, so Virus says one of my biggest fears was GLG dragging SPL down with it. Hopefully that risk is lessened now. It should be. Sold over the last 2 weeks, says Carlo, about 40,000 SPS. You bought Rift Watchers. Nice. All right, so DK just figured out the new Splinterlands slogan. Yes, it's copium, but if we all cope together, it will happen.
That's what made me laugh.
That was a
I thought that
great
was
line.
Yeah.
That was a great line. All right, so did the two around Pretoria guests get the boot? If so, it is quite telling. I believe so. There was a change. They may have been looking for investors in Illuvium and not SPL alone. I think you mean Invenium. But actually, you know what? That's a great point. That's a great point from Virus. Maybe people didn't like the intermingling of all that, so it might be easier for both to potentially raise capital, right? Because like, imagine you were going to like a company that's like interested in, I don't know, like sports related things, and they're like, yeah, what's this like fantasy game? I don't want to have anything to do with that.
I don't know that would be viewed as a negative, right? I mean, again, a lot of companies have different, games with different, ethos, if you will.
Mondroid's joking, of course, but he says Aki didn't pursue capital because we're in a new bull run. I would think fundraising from your customers would be pulling money out of the ecosystem and hurting your business that people are investing in.
Which is why you want to tie both together, right? So, like that's why I would want something in game for the investment as well.
Yeah, right? But do you want your investment capital to pull away from your revenue? This should be coming from two sources, right?
Well, I don't know. We have a whole lot of options right now, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, again, during a bull run, yeah. But I mean, for me, if I had to pick between the two, buying, Rebellion or owning part of the company, I'm gonna pick owning part of the company, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thought, that's for sure. So Merlin's Matrix, what's going on? Blockchain projects. Town Hall Bingo was a brilliant indicator, and now future red flag, indeed. All right, just got here. What's the tea right now? Matt and Aggie beef? No, we're not going into any of that. I mean, I don't even know. So, but obviously they're on different projects now. So I would buy skins too, says Carlo. Bought also the old one. Wow, we caught up with the chat.
Yeah, I did too. I bought a lot of those skins. I love them. Right, and they weren't even all that great, but it was just something different, right? With the new artwork that we have from the new creative team, those guys are brilliant. And I would love to swap in, some of my older cards with some of the newer artwork. That would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Or even sell the animated ones, right? I mean, if you look in parallel, man, those animated cards are outrageous.
They're pretty cool, yeah.
They're really expensive. So, like over $1,000 for one animated legendary. I saw one yesterday for $1,400.
That game's gonna be fun. That ecosystem looks really cool because Prime is owned by like the Echelon Prime Foundation or something like that. Parallel is a game that exists in that ecosystem. It's the first game that this foundation launched. So it's actually really exciting to see what they could do, essentially being a game platform, similar to what we were expecting with, Splinterlands and Invenium.
To that point, right? So that's one of the things I thought that we voted for the DAO to put SPS on an exchange, right? I think that's something that needs to be a priority.
We did. I just don't know what the status of that is right now.
I need SPS on Coinbase on something, right?
Yep. All right. So let me see here. Wouldn't the best way to invest just to buy SPS? Well, you're not investing in the company. You're investing in the ecosystem. So it's two separate things. But yeah, I mean, we all want SPS to go up. I mean, I think the team is still sitting on a good amount of SPS. I don't know what the rich list looks like, but I'm sure that they're on there. Harry, Larry, if you're busy with your hands, please and thanks. Thanks, Harry. I appreciate you. Thanks for helping me get some likes on the channel.
I have to start getting ready to get some stuff done.
Yeah,
So I
sounds
don't
good,
end up
man.
going to
I'm
McDonald's.
gonna call it here too. We had a good 90 minutes chatting through all of this. So guys, I don't know if you caught the beginning of this, but I will be on Splinterlands TV tonight. It is my last Splinterlands TV stream, so I hope you guys come through and say hi. Um, but that'll be in about 8 hours from now. So yeah, any final thoughts? Anything else you want to close with? You good?
Yeah, I feel I'm optimistic about the future, right? I can't predict what's going to
Same.
happen. My time horizon is they need a year, right, to get it all sorted
Yeah.
out. I have no expectations of anything for the holidays. And Matt, if you're listening, I would rather you delay land than to rush it out. Just do it right. Make sure everything is good, and then release it, right? Because we have a lot counting on this. And if we know as an organization that he's taking his time to do it right and not just going according to a schedule, then I will feel much more confident around the company. I want to see something different, right? I want to see something different than what we've had before.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, despite everything, I mean, I'm still optimistic like you. I think that here's the thing: they got to come out and prove it, right? They got to come out and back the words. But like you, new is different, right? So we'll see.
I think we're all giving them a chance.
Yeah. So Mondroid, I am not quitting SPL TV, Splinterlands TV, but they are shutting down Splinterlands TV in a couple of days. So I have my last stream tonight. I think by the end of the week they'll have their last one. So
you know what you should find for tonight? You should find one of those off-air graphics that we can put out right at the end where it has like the staticky and the
I can upload a video here that just goes to static at the end of my stream.
Yeah, you should tell you that.
But I'm not the last one. I think it goes until like the 29th, but like obviously it won't make it to next week. So
yeah.
But you know what? I'm excited to get my Tuesday nights back. My Tuesday nights free. So maybe we'll see if we'll do something else on Tuesday nights.
Parallel night, man. Let's do it.
Parallel Tuesdays. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. I know you got to run. I got to run too. Catch you later, man. All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. I'll be back Thursday. Maybe sooner. We'll see. Peace.